Hello, everyone. This is Danny, and today I'm just coming today with a video about the power that you leave behind. We're talking about identity shifting, mental diets, and I'm going to read a little bit from Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness. So, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I do have a school community that I created. A school community is just simply on the platform of SKOOL. It's for people who are looking to build a beautiful life using spiritual principles, the law of attraction, law of assumption, but also you're focused on creating a reality where you have more than enough money. You're learning how to use AI to benefit you and not being afraid of it. So, I'm going to be teaching you AI tools, how to deal with your mindset when it comes around being able to manifest more money in your life, being able to have more opportunities come to you. So, navigating your 3D reality with the 4D and also learning about how the world is shifting. I don't want you to get left behind. So if you join my free school community, it's down in the description box below. You're going to learn about mindset, manifestation topics. You're going to have monthly challenges in there, workshops, classes, and also teaching you how to create more money in your life, whether you have a 9 to 5 or whether you're looking to create a full time content creation strategy. Come on into the school community while it's free now. It will not be free forever for the people coming in after, but if you get in now, at least you'll have access to the free portion of my school community, which is still very valuable. I'm an over giver. I give way more than what people mostly pay me for. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. I've always been that way where I just feel like people should be getting a lot more out of a lot of people that are selling things online. And I have no issue doing it. So I just want to let you all know. Go ahead and join now. March 2nd, the community will officially launch. And anyone that comes in after March 2nd, you won't have access to the free community. It will be a fee to get in. Not a large fee, but come on in now. Okay. Now, with that being said, we are talking about the power you leave behind, identity shifting, and mental diets. Now, how is this going to help you? Are you a person that feels like you've been doing everything that you're supposed to do? You've been meditating, you've been, doing your affirmations, you've been doing your subliminals, you've done all the things, all the rituals, all the techniques, and you're still not getting the thing you desire to have. If that is you, then you're going to need to stay tuned because I'm not going to be here for a very long time. And by the way, if you're coming into the room, just say hello. I want to get you guys into the habit of saying hello. It doesn't mean that I'm going to ask you to, comment a lot, but if I'm up right now giving you all this beautiful energy and all this love and affection, then all I ask for in return is to say hello or to say, hey, Danny, how you doing? Or to just say hello to the chat. It's the least you can do for a person who's looking to pour into you. And if you don't want to, it's totally fine. But I just feel like I need to say this and I'm going to keep saying it. And if it annoys you, then this is not the tribe for you. Okay? Reciprocity is the best thing you can do when somebody is giving you their time and their energy to help you. Okay? So just get into the habit of saying hello when you come into the room. Now, with that being said, this book is going to be a lifesaver for you. Hi, what is this? Zoe Malone? Zoe Malone, 3173, Adobe P13. Thank you so much. I appreciate you ladies for being here. Uh, Zoe Malone, let me know if I'm saying your name right. So this is going to be your lifesaver, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. This book is about how to understand that your circumstances, what you're going through right now in your life, they're pretty much like residual of what you've been thinking, what you've been putting into the atmosphere, your energy, literally your energetic field, your frequency. Now, this is not to blame you for the problems that are going on in your life, not at all. Some things are out of your control. And I know a lot of people will not tell you this, but you can't control everything. You can control a lot of your reality by your energy and your thoughts and your focus, but some things are just out of your control, and some things are for you to learn the lessons from per your higher power and your purpose that you were put here on earth. And I want you to know that. Not everything that you do, oh my goodness, I didn't meditate today. Oh my goodness, I was thinking bad thoughts for the last week. I'm going to mess up my manifestation. That is an absolute 100% fallacy when it comes to teaching people. If you have somebody in your life right now that you can tell me they are probably like not even the person that you would think would be like into the law of attraction, law of assumption, or metaphysical things, because not every person in this world believes in this stuff and they still manage to have a beautiful life. My mother is not into like all the metaphysical things, but she just so happens to be a great manifester. I tell her this all the time. I'm like, Ma, your mindset is so amazing, but it's because of her belief system. So please hear me when I tell you that not everything that goes wrong in your life is because you were doing something wrong to manifest it. Some things just happen and they're just lessons for you to learn because you're a human, having a human, like you're a spiritual being having a human experience, but you're a human, right? So I want to get that out the way. But this book right here, The Power of Awareness. Neville Goddard is the one person everybody goes to for saying that circumstances don't matter. But I'm going to tell you the reason why they don't matter. Because in this world that you're living right now, it's residual. You're living in a reality in your 3D that you imagined from way back in the back, like a month ago. You're living like the life that you imagined a month ago, or maybe a year ago, or maybe 4 days ago. So if you want to live a new life, you need to start in the present moment to think, speak, and behave the way that you would desire for that version of you to experience, because you're going to keep experiencing things that you're thinking in the present moment in your future. So what do you want to experience next week? Next week, what type of reality do you want to have? Because if you want to have a different reality next week, you need to start today. What's today? Today is, as we're in this current moment in time and space, it is the 26th of February, 2026. So if you want to have a different reality like March 8th, you might want to start thinking new thoughts like right now. So whatever you was thinking about that didn't go right for you yesterday or last week or a month ago, you literally need to like stop thinking those thoughts and stop identifying with that version of yourself. So when we talk about identity shifting, literally the old you is 10 seconds ago when I was just telling you to focus on next week. The new you is always shifting in every second, which is a good thing. That means that you have more than enough opportunities to change your reality because you're always shifting. And the shift can be a continuation of what you desire, or the shift can be away from the things that you don't desire. So let's just say you decide that you want to shift into a new reality when you wake up. Then what you have to do is leave the old you behind before you go to bed. And decide that tomorrow when you wake up, anything that happened to you before the present moment is irrelevant. Now, how are you going to do this? Because some people say, oh, well, I can't do this. I go to work. I have people that annoy me. Oop, start over. Give yourself grace and just say, I don't care if I'm going to work with people that I don't like. I don't care if my boyfriend is acting a fool. I don't care if I don't have money in my account. The new me is going to go forth with the thoughts, the words, the affirmations. I'm going to do something different in my present moment because I know that I'm going to experience this in my future based on what I'm doing right now. I want you to start to shift yourself into the position of a person who has control over your thoughts. You may not have control over your circumstances because you're living in the residual, but you do have control over your thoughts. You do have control over the way that you receive things. You do have control over the way that you react to things. And you don't have to ignore your 3D. If anything, face it head on and decide how you're going to react to it. Because believe it or not, if you're watching me, your frequency and your energy is a scientific fact. They've been able to scientifically prove that you have an energetic field that is affected by your thoughts and your feelings. So all this woo woo stuff that people are saying, oh, feelings and thoughts don't matter. Yes, they do. They just don't matter to the degree that you give them attention based on your belief system. So if you believe that you have to have high vibration to manifest, then that's what you're going to have. If you believe that your thoughts create your reality and that I can create whatever thoughts I desire to have, then you're going to experience that too. But whether you believe in energetic connection to your reality or not doesn't mean that it's not happening, because they've been able to prove it scientifically. Like there is like receipts. So we're going to start believing in the fact that we have the power that you leave behind, and that you always, every single day you wake up and leave your power behind, is the power of your imagination. The fact that right as you're waking up out of your sleep, you're in a drowsy state. As soon as you wake up, as soon as you open your eyes, the first thing you do is touch your phone. And don't do that. Even if it's just like to see what time it is, I get that, because we're all in this world. But if you're just, as soon as you wake up, you just start scrolling, no. What you're doing is you're programming your subconscious mind to depend on outside sources, instead of, as soon as you wake up, first and foremost, why are you not giving gratitude for the fact that you got to wake up and some people did not? So the energy of gratitude is going to help you to get into this really beautiful, calm state. And then you're going to be able to wake up and speak into existence the day that you would like to have. Now, this is going to take some practice for some of you all. I understand it's not going to be easy. However, we're living in 2026, where the age of AI is pulling your energy away from you. There's so many distractions. There's so many opportunities to scroll your life away. And I work online as a social media manager. I literally make a lot of money online teaching people how to use AI, and helping my clients to build their platforms. And even I, as a social media manager, I take breaks in between my clients and in between doing things. I have designated times throughout my day in the week to work on social media, because I understand that my attention and my awareness to things is my currency. And I want you to understand the same thing, that the awareness that you give to anything in your life, the focus that you give it, is going to be detrimental to you, either in a good way, because detrimental could mean like, this is something that I absolutely can use. This is detrimental to me being successful. I need to make sure that I'm meditating. It's detrimental to my success for me to meditate on the things I desire to have. Or it could be detrimental to you in the state of, look, if I keep doing this, I'm not going to make it. If I keep scrolling for 2 hours instead of working on my projects or working on my social media platforms, or if I keep scrolling for 2 hours instead of studying for my test, I'm not going to make it. So detrimental could go both ways. It's really your perception of the things that you're doing in your life. But the one thing I would tell you is that your reality is shifted and molded based on what you give your focus to in a drowsy state. So when you're waking up in the morning, I need you all to start to get into the habit of saying your affirmations, or immediately giving gratitude, or if you have to touch your device just to see what time it is, maybe touch your device to turn on like your subliminals or your affirmation. I get it. I'm not saying that you have to like completely not use your phone in the morning. However, I want you to really get into the habit of understanding that your attention is being pulled away by social media. The attention span is shorter than normal. People don't even stay. I watch the analytics on my page, on all of my clients, and it tells you when people stop watching. As a social media manager, like, I look at analytics all the time, and most people do not watch even scrolling a 30-second video more than 5 seconds, unless it's entertaining or unless it's something that is like informational that they need. Other than that, they're just like, okay, 5 seconds, scroll. 5 seconds, oh, okay, oh, that's funny, oh, that's interesting. And then they might stay on for 10 seconds. You don't want to be one of those people that you can't sit down and read a book for a day, or you can't like skim through a book for more than 20 minutes and get information. I want you to understand that how important it is for you to be able to pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, right? So now let's get into, child, if y'all can't do that, at least the mental diets is really going to hem you up. But we won't get into that yet. I'm going to get into mental diets. But what I want to do is check in with you all. And I'm going to read from Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness. The next 7 days, starting March 1st, for those of you who are in my membership, for heart-based entrepreneurs and soul aligned members. So heart-based entrepreneurs, content creators in the soul aligned membership. What I want you all to understand is that the power of awareness is going to work for all of us with money, love, health, and anything you can imagine. This book is going to help you. So let me just tell you all real quick. So we're talking about the power of assumption, desire, attention, preparing your place, acceptance, the effortless way. We're talking about personal importance. All things are possible. Free will. A lot of y'all get free will confused. Persistence. Circumstances don't matter. Failure, faith, destiny. These are all the things that we talk about in the power of awareness. And so starting March 1st, we're going to be doing a 14-day money challenge. It's okay for you all to say that you want more money. Don't be modest about wanting money, because money in 2026 in this society, especially as an American, we can greatly benefit from creating more digital money and even tangible money. It makes your life a lot easier. And I'm not afraid to say it. Having money and not having to worry about where you're going to get your money from and how you're going to pay bills, it alleviates a lot of stress so that you can actually do what God has called you to do, what your infinite intelligence, higher power has called you to do. A lot of you all work 9 to 5s and you hate them. I know, because people tell me all the time they hate their jobs. Literally, I would say 80% of the people who are going to watch this on the replay, you hate your job. You wish you could be doing something else. And you believe, you have a belief system that you cannot make the same amount of money or more that you make at your 9 to 5 doing something you love to do. And you're afraid to not have a consistent paycheck for a small amount of time, but you basically you trade your happiness for a paycheck. Most of the people who are watching me do this. And I used to do it too. I literally had anxiety the first 3 months that I quit my 9 to 5 with no plan B, just maybe $2,000 or $3,000 in my bank account. And I would have quit no matter if I had $300 or $3,000, because the job that I had, it wasn't a bad job. It just wasn't a job for me. I was never supposed to be working for other people. I got stuck in the loop because I needed to pay bills. What I'm doing now is what I was always supposed to be doing. And it took me an extra 5 years to realize that. That's why I was suffering. I made more money within a year as soon as I left that 9 to 5, got the hell up out of there, and decided to just go full throttle. Now, I'm not saying for you to quit your job, because I don't want you all to think that I'm going to tell you to do that without a game plan, because I'm just a fearless type bitch like that. I just don't give a shit. I'm just like, look, at some point, I have to be happy. My health is failing me. I'm crying in the bathroom. I just don't like the job. I've done it for 10 years and I don't like it anymore. I worked in the restaurant industry for 10 years at that point. I've been every single thing: host, restaurant manager, bartender, kitchen staff. And while I was very good at it, people really loved me in those positions. I'm very charming, cute, spiritual, girly. So people were naturally drawn to me. I made a lot of good money in tips. That just wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And I had many people tell me when I was at work, you know, you're not like these people. You're not supposed to be here. I had a psychic at one of my tables when I was a waitress 13 plus years ago. She was like, "This is not the work for you, young lady. You know that, right?" And I must have been in my late 20s, mid to late 20s. What if I'm 40 something now? That was 15 years. So I must have been in like my mid to late 20s. And she was like, "This is not the job for you, young lady." And she's like, "You know, I can see you and I do the same thing, right?" And I got chills all over my body because she knows that I'm a psychic too. Like, I'm a person that I have an intuitive nature towards reading energy. We're all psychic, by the way, but most of us don't partake in our psychic abilities. But the lady, she literally told me, she's like, "This is not the job for you." And so that made me realize that there's an energetic force that we all can connect to in each other. There's no such thing as a coincidence when you meet somebody and you get to talking to them and then you realize that you and them have something in common. That's your higher self telling you, keep going. A lot of you all look for signs instead of accepting the coincidences that you think are coincidences. Those are really your higher power, infinite intelligence, leading you to the people, places, and circumstances that you need to have in order to put you on the path of where you want to go. When that lady told me that this wasn't the place for me, and she said, "You know, you do what I do." She said, "You and I have the same gift." And I knew exactly what she meant. And then I looked in her eyes and I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay." And I was just like looking at her like this, like, "Okay, can you give me your order?" But then when I went to the back, I was like, "She's psychic." And so I went back and I said, "Thank you for telling me that message." I said, "I hear what you're saying." She said, "Look, don't ever look back once you leave this industry." She said, "I don't know why God is telling me to tell you this," but she said, "Don't ever look back." She said, your kind is not supposed to be here. There's a different breed of people that are for this industry." She said, "You're not. You're not. You're supposed to be doing something else to raise the consciousness of this world." She said, "I'm old now, baby." She said, "I'm old." She said, "You don't have to listen to me," but she said, I'm telling you, um, you'll never see me again, but this is," and I truly believe that she was most likely one of my ancestors speaking through her, or like an angel, because shortly after that is when the pandemic hit. Oh no, this wasn't a pandemic. This was so this lady told me this maybe when I was in my late 20s, but shortly before the pandemic hit, I had a premonition. So I'm getting it mixed up, but shortly before the pandemic hit, I was still working in the restaurant industry. So she had told me this when I was in my late 20s, going into my 30s. I stayed in the restaurant industry until my mid to late 30s, like whenever the pandemic hit. And I never forgot her, but then I had a premonition shortly right before the pandemic, and it brought me right back to her. So it took me some time to even listen to the inklings that the Most High was telling me. And you know, the older you get, you forget times and dates. So charge it to my heart, not my, or charge it to my mind, not my heart. But I will tell you that I was able to finally realize that I will never go back on what the Most High has told me. And so, in honor of the title that you all see here, the power that you leave behind is the power to know that you have a connection to your higher self. And you'll get people who will tell you things and you won't believe them. You'll get dreams about things. You'll have like an inclination to do something and you'll ignore it. And the power that you leave behind every single day is the power of speaking things into existence, the power of saying to your higher self, "I command that today is going to be a good day." Did you know that you don't have to ask your higher power to do anything? You don't have to ask, you don't have to beg, you don't have to plead for things. Had I listened to that lady 7 years before the pandemic, I most likely would have been way further ahead. But guess what? I'm glad that I got that information because I knew she was telling the truth. And it took the pandemic for me to finally say, "I'm out of here." So a whole 7 years after that lady, or 5 or 7 years after that lady told me that, I suffered unnecessarily. Went to a job that beat me down. You all don't have to do that. I'm telling you, there's money online, AI tools are all over the place. People are telling you all, oh, if you join my membership, I'll help you all to make $1,000 a day. And I'm not telling you that these people are lying, but what I'm telling you is that what I've learned is that you have to actually pace yourself. Going from 0 to 60 is not going to necessarily be something that most of us can do, because there's so much programming that you have. You don't believe that you can actually manifest things overnight. Half of y'all be watching these videos online and you really don't believe it. You just be hoping that somebody give you a some fairy dust that you can just wake up the next day and you're in your desired reality. A lot of you all do not believe that you can really manifest overnight. But I'm going to tell you that I have manifest something very important overnight. And it made me a believer. And it wasn't just money, it was an opportunity that I said, if this happens, I will never, ever, ever discredit the power of my word. And I affirm for it all day. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is because I want to continue to have it in my life. And it's opportunities connected to me working in the work that I do now, social media management. I'll just tell you all that. I affirm for it all day. I was like, this is gonna happen to me. I'm definitely going to have this. And I just said, okay, I'm gonna have blind faith. I'm going to have brazen impudence like Neville Goddard speaks about. Brazen impudence is like, I know that I know that I know. It's declaring a thing. It's demanding that it happens. I don't give a shit what my circumstances are telling me. I'm going to have this. It's going to happen. It's happening right now. It's already happened. And I was like, I'm just going to be delusional for one day. I'm just going to be delusional. What do I have to lose? Okay, nobody knows that I'm doing this. If it doesn't happen, okay, then I'll just move on to something else. But I just decided for one day I was going to have faith, brazen impudence, be delusional. And the next day, I said, I cannot, I don't care if people say, oh, you got lucky. Bullshit. The entire day from sun up till sundown, I woke up and decided that I was going to just say, fuck it. I'm just going to affirm for it all day. And the thing that came to me was an opportunity that set me up to this day to still have clients and referrals for the spiritual business that I do online. I just met one person. One person gave me an opportunity that snowballed me into having that opportunity for multiple people to this day. And it was the exact thing that I affirmed for. And I said, if the Most High gives me this opportunity, if infinite intelligence gives me this opportunity, I will know for sure, because I'm asking for something that nobody would ever expect me to have. And I will know for sure that if this thing comes to me the next day, that I can never discredit that my words, my energy, my thoughts, affirming for it, declaring it, and no matter what happens, it's going to be mine. I can never ever say that that doesn't work. This is why when people say robotically affirm, and when people say, oh, your thoughts create your reality, I can't really dispute that because I did test it and it does work. However, the way it's being taught online, people don't understand that you have to use your emotions as well. Oops. See, I'm okay with the robotic affirming that's being taught online, but with the feelings behind it. So you can just say, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, versus I'm creating multiple sources of income that are going to guarantee me millions of dollars. I'm creating multiple sources of income that are going to guarantee me millions of dollars. Millions of dollars are going to come my way. I'm going to do so many amazing things with my millions of dollars. And then you start listening to things. I'd rather you do a rampage like Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks teaches you all to do, but then a certain somebody told y'all that Rampages, by the way, any person that does rampages in the law of assumption community, that comes from Esther Hicks in the law of attraction community. She is the queen of rampages. It's where you just kind of get the Holy Spirit like the Christian people do, where they just catch the Holy Spirit and they start speaking in tongues. If you ever go back and watch Abraham Hicks, when she does rampages, she's just literally just flowing off her mouth of gratitude. And she's just speaking into existence the things that she wants to have on the specific topic. And then a certain somebody in the law of assumption community started doing rampages. Nothing wrong with it. But rampages are basically you just like filling your spirit with like gratitude. I'm so thankful that things are working out in my favor. Today was the most amazing day. I have 4 clients that guaranteed me over $10,000 for the month. I'm so grateful that this $10,000 is coming to me. This $10,000 is so guaranteed to me that I looked in my bank account in my imagination and I saw $10,000, and I also felt the energy of my bank account coming to me in my dreams over and over and over. I kept repeating $10,000 is on the way. $10,000 is mine. I'm so thankful for my $10,000. I'm so thankful that the clients that I have coming into my life are guaranteeing me $10,000 for this month. That's a rampage. And you can only do that when you're in the flow state of focusing on the thing that you desire to have. A rampage is just you just giving gratitude, calling in the thing that you desire to have. And you can do this in the privacy of when you're in the shower so nobody has to hear you. You can do it under your breath. You can do it in your mind. But when you shift your identity to a person who expects great things to happen for them, you don't give a shit about how you look when people are, you know, watching you EFT tap. I'm an EFT practitioner. So when I'm tapping, sometimes I do this in public. I don't give a shit if you look at me and be like, oh, she's weird. I'm clearing energy. I'm connected. I'm focused. I'm making sure that I'm rampaging on the thing that I want to have. And so when you have that type of energetic connection to your higher power, you're going to affirm for the thing you desire to have with feeling. Yes, I am one of those people that believes that feeling is a secret. You don't always have to have feelings. You can just proclaim. You can also use your frustration or your anger to manifest. Any heightened emotion is going to penetrate your subconscious mind a lot faster, right? Hi, Ngozi. I haven't seen you in a while. Is that how you say your name? You're one of like I'll never forget your name. You're one of the people that I remember. Hi, Miss Sherry. How are you? Yes, thank you all for being here. So yes, I just want you all to get into the habit of having this enthusiasm about life. Enthusiasm will override anything. Yes, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. Things working on my favorite. Things working. I understand the robotic affirming thing. I totally get it. However, I'm trying to put you on game. Get yourself into a state where you are emotionally connected to the words that you're saying. And I guarantee you that that robotic affirming will amplify even more. Now, the people who can just robotically affirm and they still get the things they desire to have is because most likely, as a coach, who has coached many, many, many people in the manifestation community, most likely what it is that you don't have resistance to the things that are like subconsciously rooted. If you're a person that believes that good things happen to you or that you've never had trauma around money per se, like you've always had money, then your sense of security and your sense of always being able to be supported, that is intact. Because money is connected to your support system, is connected to survival, is connected to your well-being, because in this society we are taught that we need money to survive. So if you're one of those people that can manifest things a lot easier, most likely with just the robotic affirming, you're focusing on the thing you desire and you don't have a lot of resistance. I know people like that. I have people in my family that are very well off. So they never really had to grow up with a money issue. So they always felt supported, or they had both parents in the family, or both parents in their life. So they never felt like they didn't have a clutch, a crutch to lean on. Um, so like my husband, believe it or not, even though he grew up in Jamaica, Queens, Southside Jamaica, Queens, which is, one of the roughest cities in, Queens, he didn't grow up with a mother who was like wayward. His mother always looked out. She's a nurse. She always worked very hard. They grew up in a environment him and his brother, that they saw downtrodden people, but in their household, their mother always supported them and looked out for them. So my husband does not have a I had a worse money story than my husband did, and I grew up more affluent than him because my parents were like keeping up with the Joneses. Sorry, parents, if you're watching this. Well, my dad is deceased, but my mother, if you're watching this, mommy, sorry, but y'all was keeping up with the Joneses. On the outside, we looked like we had a lot of money, Mercedes and all that stuff, but on the inside, we pinching pennies, buying generic food, and going to the thrift store. So you see how that money story can be skewed. Whereas my husband in his house, they didn't have a lot of money, but they were taught to buy quality things. My husband went to the dentist and had, got braces, like his mother scrounged up, never told them that she was struggling. All they knew is that if you do good in school, you're good in this house, you do the things you're supposed to do, you'll be taken care of. And their mother did that. And so in their minds, they were always supported. So now to this day, my husband, he's a hard worker, but he's very well with his money. He takes care of business. He's a great provider. And I would like to, I tell his mother all the time, you raised him very well, because despite her money issues, she never imposed that on to my husband, Kareem, you know? And I'm not saying my parents did that to us, but we did have a different money story, me and my sister. And so I'm saying all of this to say is that when you have a subconscious program, you're not going to go against that program until you're aware of what the program is saying. So if you desire to have more money and more opportunities, you have to get to the root of why you don't have it, which is just one thing. What is the background story saying? I have more opportunities coming to me every single day. Things are happening for me every single day. I have more money coming into my life. And as soon as you're affirming for that, you're not necessarily hearing a negative thing, but you feel like, why am I affirming this? Or you're thinking about all the times in your life where you didn't have money. That is an indication that you have a subconscious program that is running. And how do we get rid of that? By acknowledging it. You don't run away from your 3D circumstances. You don't run away from the negative thoughts. You acknowledge them. It'd be better for you to know what they are than to just suppress them. And you don't have to go searching for them. They'll show up. Start affirming for the thing you desire to have. And then just pay attention to what comes up that is against that. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, what goes against what you're affirming. And then you'll be able to say, okay, every time I affirm for more money, every time I affirm for a better health, every time I affirm for a new car, I get this feeling that is kind of like you don't deserve it. Then that will tell you that you have a program of unworthiness. And where does it come from? Is there a time in your life, in your childhood, where you were made to feel that you weren't worthy? Then go back and revise it. Use the law of assumption to revise it. You can literally go into your imagination and rewrite that story that you have that's connected to something that you don't want to continue to tell the story about. As soon as it comes up against the thing that you're desiring to have or you're affirming for, jot it down and then just make a decision that you're going to revise it. If you don't know what revision is, just look up Neville Goddard revision. It'll come up on the web, and then just follow the steps. Will change your life, because your imagination can recreate a story. You can recreate characters. You can actually have it to where the thing that happened to you in your background happened in a different way. Now it doesn't change what happened, it just changes the way that you react to it. It changes the energetic connection that you have to it, and it will continue in your mind a different way. So then now it won't reopen wounds and traumas from your childhood or from your past, which is super important when you're manifesting your desired reality, is that we don't reopen wounds unless we're ready to face them and revise them, or to energetically release and let them go. Does that make sense to you all? Please let me know that you're hearing me. I know there's a lot of people in the room for a late night. There's 20 people in the room. So please let me know you're hearing me. Just say hello. Now I would like to read a little bit from The Power of Awareness, and then I'm gonna, let you all go. So I tell you all the time, this book, I've had it for so many years. It's one of my favorite Neville Goddard books. This book right here, let me just read the back. So here's the thing. Um, this book is what it says on the back. It says, the author of 10 inspirational books, Goddard was a popular speaker on metaphysical themes. The powerful awareness, he voiced many ideas that are now mainstream of contemporary self-help circles, including the concept that your thoughts control your reality and that in order to change your current physical state, you must first change your mind. Yeah. And not only that, in this book, your self-concept, who you think you are. Like how do you feel about yourself? How do you see yourself? And your identity is who do you think you are? But how do you see yourself? Like, do you see yourself as a capable person? Do you see yourself as a smart person? Do you see yourself as a person who can overcome things? How do you see yourself? That's your self concept. The concept of yourself is all of your things. Do you think that you're a victim? Do you see yourself as a person who um, is thriving or that can continue to thrive? Do you see yourself as a person who can make money outside of a 9 to 5? Do you see yourself as a person who can use your talents to create multiple sources of income? And then your identity is who do you think you are? Do you believe yourself to be a painter? Do you identify as a teacher, as a mother, as a sister? That's identity. So to shift your identity from a worker to a boss, simply just decide that you're going to start to look up what a boss is, what is a leader, what is a person. When I became self-employed, I had to reprogram my mind. I used to get anxiety if I took more than 30 minutes to sit down and eat lunch because when I worked in a corporate environment or a 9 to 5, I had to scarf down my food like a little mouse or like like a rat just scraping and scrounging, like a squirrel. I had to eat really fast. So my nervous system was always like, just eat. Could never sit down in the restaurant industry. Anybody that worked as a server, bartender, or manager in the restaurant industry, you don't have time to sit down and eat. There's no lunch break unless the restaurant is slow. But that doesn't really happen when you work for like a franchise, like Fridays or Applebee's. Like you're not going to just be sitting down. You're going to eat on the go. So when I became self-employed and I actually got to sit down in my own home and watch maybe a 30-minute segment of a show while I was eating my sandwich and enjoying myself or take a nap in between, I used to feel bad. And then I said, wait a damn minute. Don't you work for yourself? Your clients can't see you not working on their project for an hour. They can't see you, Deo. Deo is my nickname that everybody calls me. It's my initials, Deo. My whole entire friends in college and all my friends after 2010, they all call me Deo. But I was like, nobody can see you not eating your sandwich. I mean, not doing their work. Like I used to get anxiety for taking breaks or taking naps in between work because my brain and my identity was 9 to 5 worker where somebody's on my back, where I'm being delegated to, where if I don't show up, then I could get fired. The fear of being fired if I show up too late or if I have too many write-ups. And I had to teach myself, bitch, you work for yourself. You don't have to do anything for 2 days if you don't want to. As long as your client gets the the desired outcome of the project that you told them that you're going to do within the time frame, it doesn't matter if it took you 2 days to do it or a week to do it. Did you tell them it was going to take you a week to do it? There are times where I've literally had a client and I said, okay, it's going to take me a week to do this. And it took me 1 day to do it. And I had the entire 5 days to give the project to them. Nobody has to know how you get the result when you're a self-employed person. So the identity shift for me was I get to do whatever the hell I want to do on my free time. And then the work time, I get to decide how I work. That fear and that nervous system regulation is an identity shift. This happens whenever you're a single person going back into a relationship or when you are in a relationship and you become single again. You have to shift your identity from married to single, or from single to married, or you have to shift your identities when you are shifting into a reality that you desire to have. Do you identify as a person who has a lot of abundance, or do you identify as a person that you have to penny pinch every single little thing? Right? Right. Um you all are resonating with me with the 9 to 5. And look, I'm not against people that work traditional jobs. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody cannot be a self-employed person, because some people it's just not, they're not wired that way. But I'm just telling you my experience. You said literally my experience leaving 9 to 5 as a nurse too. Yes. Azure Healing Guide. Thank you for being here. I love your profile picture. I remember your name. I haven't seen a lot of y'all in a while. Wise Tells Art says the best part of working for yourself is getting to listen to your own playlist. Yep. Because when I was a restaurant manager, I used to put on my own playlist, even though it was against company policy. People loved working with me as a manager because I would play like a good playlist instead of listening to weird. Do you know that music can raise your mood? I used to let the kitchen guys play whatever music, whatever cussing, hardcore, whatever they wanted to play in the kitchen before we opened the restaurant. Like, because I would open the restaurant from seven to like 11. They have to prep. I let them listen to whatever they want to listen to. If people can't hear the music, I let them listen to whatever. If people want to, you know, get themselves hyped up, because music helps you to raise your vibration. So yeah, for me, the best part of me working from home is I have Bernie Mac playing in the background right now. Like the whole season of all the Bernie Mac show is playing in the background right now. I make AI manifestation music. And before AI manifestation music was a thing, I was listening to my own music working from home. These are the things that I want you to understand when you're shifting your identity. Let's just say we're not even talking about working for yourself. If you just wanted to shift into the identity of a person who understands that you cannot keep doing the same thing you're doing right now as the version of you, if you want to experience a different reality, because the you right now is experiencing this reality because it's what you created, then create something else. And most people would tell you to create. I would say take it a step further. Align with the version of you and the frequency of you that has that thing already, because creation is already finished. And what that means, per Neville Goddard in his teachings, is as soon as you have a desire for something, you would not have the desire for it if it were not something that your higher power had not already given you the direction to even think about. We don't think about things that are not already within us to do. I don't want to be an astronaut. I don't think about being an astronaut. I don't want to be a chef, even though I can cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not in me. What's in me is what I'm doing my damnedest to do right now. Like, I'm doing a really good job of it, but that was not always the case. And there's so many other things I want to do and that I'm going to be doing. But 4 years ago versus now, I'm doing what I said I was going to do 4 years ago. And it only took me 2 years to do it. And had I really gotten out of my own way, I would have done it in less time than that. I'm teaching my students in my membership to collapse time. In my membership right now, we're literally finishing up on our 3-week boot camp for content creators and heart-based entrepreneurs, people, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced. We literally are finishing up. And I'm so proud of the young ladies who basically in 21 days started a faceless channel, a faceless AI channel that's up and running. Some of the young ladies have over 100 subs right now within a very short amount of time or more. And most of the young ladies are literally starting their channels and they're up and running. So here's what I want to say to you all. If you had somebody behind you, a coach or somebody that would basically be there to make sure that you're doing everything step by step, would you take the plunge to do it? Because when I was starting, I didn't have nobody. That's why it took me so long to do what I needed to do. And in my membership, I really was telling the Most High, I was like, I can't give to people more than what they're willing to do with the information that I'm giving them, because I'm not charging people hundreds and thousands of dollars to work with me. I'm literally charging you under $50 to come into a membership for 30 days. After that, if you want to leave, you can leave. It's 30 days and then you can cancel anytime. You have access to me, DM private messages, voice notes, and you have access to courses, classes, workshops, group of like-minded people. And then when people hear this, they're like, okay, yeah, coach, it sounds good. But it's like, okay, well, who else is going to only charge you $30 to $50 to come into a membership for 30 days and learn how to start a Faces channel or digital products or ask me any questions about creating multiple sources of income? Who else is doing that? I know nobody else is because I look for it. That's why I created the membership. So I tell people all the time, like, look, get in where you fit in. Because there's going to become a day where I'm going to be so big where I won't be able to have a membership, you know? And by the way, if anybody wants to join the membership, check down in the description box down below. Click on the link. I have my SKOOL community is free to join right now. If you want to join the paid community, then the link for the boot camp, just click that link and it'll take you to my website. And the website has the boot camp, or you can join the membership for anywhere between $30 and $50. It has literally the tiers to join. Just letting y'all know, because I am here to make sure that you all understand that I'm here to be of service to you, right? So let's get into some Neville, okay? Let's get into some Neville real quick. This is gonna bless your life. So I'm gonna just flip the page, and wherever we come in contact to, that's where we're gonna stop. Okay, it stopped on destiny. Okay, so let me just read a little bit from the chapter. So for those of you, it's the power of awareness. It's page 77. And this chapter is chapter 26, and it's called Destiny, okay? Let's see. Let me see. Okay, so it says here, since life is infinite, the concept of an ultimate destiny is inconceivable. When we understand that consciousness is the only reality, and consciousness means awareness, by the way. Anytime you hear the word consciousness in any capacity, for the most part, from what I understand, consciousness is like your actual awareness, what you see, what you can actually conceive, and what you see. Either when you close your eyes in your imagination or when you open your eyes, that is consciousness, whatever you're aware of. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So let me just start it over. So it says here, since life is infinite, the concept of an ultimate destiny is inconceivable. When we understand that consciousness is the only reality, we know that it is the only creator. This means that your consciousness is the creator of your destiny. Your awareness is the creator of your destiny. The fact is, you are creating your destiny every moment, whether you know it or not. Much that is good or even wonderful has come into your life without you having an inkling that you were the creator of it. Okay? So, whether it's good or bad, some people would say, well, what about the bad? And I just told you all at the beginning, I said sometimes we have to understand that not all the bad things that happen to us are under our jurisdiction. Children come into this world good. Humans, we are flawed when it comes to the negative things that we focus on. Because the good is what we are here to experience. The negative is what is sometimes created by us and sometimes created just by circumstance. And I'm not just telling you this to blow smoke up your woo-ha. I'm telling you this because we have to understand that the good is who we are. The bad is what we experience. But who we are innately, we are good. You were put here to live a good life. And any of the bad parts of it is just either a part of human experience or a part of you creating it unbeknownst to you most of the time. Your job is to figure out the parts that you don't like and to recreate them into good. How about that? I want you to have that belief system that the parts of your life that you don't like, you don't beat yourself up about it. You decide which parts you don't like and recreate them, revise them, become aware of the part of it that you can learn from to make it into good if you can. Or just decide that you're going to push it to a different part of your brain until you can handle dealing with it. We call that trauma. Sometimes the trauma is too much to deal with right now, so then you can focus on something else until you can deal with the trauma. Because just because you have trauma doesn't mean you can't manifest beautiful things. We have evidence of people who have trauma that can manifest amazing things. But if you don't like that trauma, if you don't like those negative circumstances, your job as a adult, especially children, we have to protect them. But as an adult, when your frontal lobe is closed up, but they say when you're like 25 and above, that's when your brain really starts to like be able to really have clarity and focus. 24 and above, as an adult, your job is to go and look at the stuff that you don't like and recreate it or reconcile it or get therapy for it or to, if you're a spiritual person, to do the dark night of the soul, the shadow work, right? Oh, Wise Tales Art says, I'm playing this video in the background while I paint. Well, I hope you're painting something amazing. You said the owner of the store I work in plays AC/DC all day. I'm familiar with the group, but I wouldn't want that to be played all day. I would want a little bit of variety. Hmm. So let me go to something that I actually had that I actually have bookmarked because Destiny was a bookmark. Let me just go to one of my bookmarks. This is something that was really important. Let's go to, damn, do I have my reading glasses? Hold on, y'all. Let me get my reading glasses. Okay, perfect. All right. So it says here, we're going to go with acceptance because I have it bookmarked. So it says here, whenever you become completely absorbed in an emotional state, you are at that moment assuming the feeling of the state fulfilled. If persisted in whatsoever you are intensely emotional about, you will experience in your world. Oops. These periods of absorption, of concentration, attention, of concentrated attention are the beginnings of the things you harvest. What did I tell you all? That when you have an emotional connection to the thoughts and the feelings, you are right now allowing your subconscious mind to be impressed. Now, here's what I will tell you is that this can also work with frustration. You can affirm that things are working out in your favor through tears and through frustration, but you have to become aware of your emotional state and use it to your advantage. Any emotional state you can use to your advantage. You can affirm when you're sad, when you're grieving, or when you're happy, when you're joyous, when you're, in any state you can, but your emotions are connected to the things that you are internalizing. If you're having an inner conversation about a situation that you don't like, and you keep having this inner conversation and it keeps making you upset, is the inner conversation serving you? You can revise the situation and have an inner conversation as if it happened the way that you wanted it to happen. Because your imagination is creating your reality. You know your subconscious mind doesn't know if you're telling the truth or a lie. So this is what I want you all to start to understand, that we don't have to think like the rest of the world. Because whether people believe in the power of their mind or the power of the words or not, they're still manifesting unsavory things that they don't want. So, wouldn't it be in your best interest to just test this out for yourself consistently for 7 days or less? And just whenever you have a thought, or whenever you start to have an inner conversation, or whenever you start to have an emotional connection to something, ask yourself, is this going to serve me? Because I know that my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions are impressing my subconscious mind for my future outcome of me living the desired reality that I want. Just ask yourself the question and then just shift into the desired reality. Hold on one second. These are reading glasses that I bought. You don't want the sticker on that. Okay. Any questions while I'm reading this stuff? Because this is novel, but this is stuff I live all day, every day. It's what I teach my students. It's what I've been teaching on my platform. It's what I teach in my private membership. Okay, what about the effortless way? This is chapter 14. This is the last one I'm going to read for you all. Chapter 14, and it's page 33. It says here, the principle of least action governs everything in physics, from the path of the planet to the path and the pulse of light. Least action is the minimum of energy multiplied by the minimum of time. Therefore, in moving from your present state to the state desired, you must use the minimum energy and take the shortest possible time. Your journey from one state of consciousness to another is the psychological one. So, to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action and the psychological equivalent of mere assumption. So let me just break that down for you. What it means is that if you want to get to your desired reality faster, you have to make an assumption that it's possible. Number one, you literally have to assume that it is possible for me to get to my desired reality quick. Start to assume that you are a person that can manifest your desired reality in a very quick amount of time. That's number one. Number two, what he's saying, you must take the least amount of mental thoughts. So, what is the shortest amount of thought that you can think that will get you to the wish fulfilled? Just go to the end. Okay, you want to be married, you want to have a lover, you want to be married. Don't imagine the wedding. Imagine you and your lover on a trip vacation celebrating your 10 years. Or imagine you all old and gray having a fun time and you have a big rock on your finger. That is the wish fulfilled. See, me as a married woman, my wish fulfilled wasn't to just have a wedding, it was to grow old and be healthy and happy with my husband. So in my mind, I imagine us gray and old on vacation, thriving on the beach, running around because we're healthy. And I imagine my hand having a big diamond ring on it. Because my wish fulfilled is to grow old with my husband. So I skipped over the wedding and just went to the end of us like being old and married. Nobody's teaching you that, are they? So the least amount of time, don't waste mental energy going with the middle and doing all the details. Go to the end result. What is the least amount of time it will take you to do this? Less than 10 seconds is what Neville says. As you're falling asleep, when you're in a drowsy state, think of the thing that you desire to have the most and go to the end result. So more money. Okay, so the end result is you imagining your bank account saying what you want it to say. You don't have to imagine how you're going to get it or what circumstances are going to come. Just imagine the bank account having the thing that you desire to have. That takes you less than 5 seconds to do before you're falling asleep. Also, too, it says here, your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one, meaning it's in your mind. So to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action. Least action in your mind is to go to the end. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Now, he doesn't say go to the end here per se, but he says it in the book. Psychologically, the least action is for you to go to the end result. or to think about yourself already having it. Okay? That's why I'm here to break this down for you. This is like my Bible, right? Also too, it says here, the day you finally realize that the power of assumption is yours, you discover it in a way that completely conforms to your reality. It works by means of attention minus effort. Told you. Your awareness of what you're thinking, you can always correct it. And you'll start to train yourself to think only about the things you desire to have as if it's already yours versus like, how am I going to get it? When is it going to happen? Who's going to give it to me? Do I need to do this? You see what I'm saying? That the minimum effort that it takes to actually think about the thing you desire to have, you'll start to train yourself to do that in a short amount of time, right? And it says here, because creation is finished, what you desire already exists. It is excluded from view because you can see only the contents of your own consciousness. It is the function of an assumption to call it back the excluded view and restore full vision. It is not the world, but your assumption that changed. An assumption brings the invisible into sight. It is nothing more nor less than seeing with the eye of God, i.e., your imagination. Okay? So, your assumption about things is what you believe to be true. Assumption can also be, it's the same thing as saying your perception, your belief system, what you see in your mind's eye over and over and over will harden into a fact. But it's more so like what you believe to be true is an assumption. If I keep saying that, um, if I keep saying to myself, I assume that I'm a beautiful, talented woman who helps other people manifest their desired reality. I'm here to help people understand the law of assumption and the laws of the universe and help them to make multiple sources of income. I used to say that to myself a lot. I'm like, I'm put here to do something really big. I'm put here to help people to understand their power too. And I kept saying that. And I kept assuming that because I'm like, well, why else am I here? I feel called to that. And I kept saying it. And then now I do things to help people to manifest their desired reality. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't even know why I was saying it. I was working and was fearful of leaving it out of fear of not having money for my bills. And so I just was like, well, I just know. I just assumed that I was here to do something bigger. And I kept assuming that. I kept assuming that things were working out in my favor and that one day I was going to be able to work for myself because people who work for themselves have time to help other people. I kept assuming if I have if I work for myself, then I have time because I can create my own like schedule. So I kept making that assumption, just so you all know. So that's some things that I just wanted to share with you all. These chapters, every time I read them to you all, I always get different insights. But I want you to know that your life is not in limbo because you're just waiting to get your desires. It's in limbo for most of you all because you haven't made a decision that you want to shift your identity towards your desired reality. You can wake up tomorrow and just decide, I'm going to do things different. I'm going to take it one day at a time. But every time you try to get pulled back into the old you, the way you do things, just remind yourself that this is a process. Start to really get into the habit of reading things that keep you focused, or listening to audiobooks, or following podcasts or content creators that help keep you focused. Okay? Any questions for me before I let you all go? If you're in here, what I love for you all to do if you're watching me at any given moment on Danny the Alchemist is to get into the habit of saying hello when you come into the room. Now, I can't, it's not like TikTok where I can see who's in the room. I really wish YouTube would let us see who's in the room because I'm a big person of energy and I believe in reciprocity. So those of you who have said hello and that have said hello and, we've been talking, I appreciate you. A simple hello doesn't hurt you. I say this all the time. I've been saying it for years. And I want people to know that when you receive energy and receive value from people, if you don't have money to give, Content creators, we love likes, we love comments, we love hearts, and we love to be acknowledged. That's how you pay it back. Most people are not in the desired reality that they desire to be in, is because they don't understand that this is a universe that we live in where if you give and expect to receive, you always receive tenfold. That's always how it happens. So now that you've received, all I ask you to do is bless this platform with your like, with your share, or a comment, or a hello. That's all I ask. The people who are saying hello always say hello. Eugene, thank you. Eugene is one of my beautiful moderators and the masculine energy that I always receive here. Wise Tells Art says, I love the way you translate Neville. What book are you reading from? It's The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. And the whole month of March in my membership, we're going to be studying from The Power of Awareness and translating it for people who are looking to manifest more money, more job opportunities. If you still want to work 9 to 5s, I'm not gonna, if you have a 9 to 5, a traditional job, the whole month of March we're going to be talking about money opportunities, transitioning either from a 9 to 5 to self-employment or content creation, or if you're at your current 9 to 5, how you can get yourself into the identity of a person who has a higher position or is getting paid more money. So the Power of Awareness, we're going to use this book and the principles in this book to focus on becoming a person who creates and aligns with more money, more opportunities. Because it's not a sin to say I want more money. Like money in this society helps. It helps you to alleviate a lot of stress. It helps you to be able to live a life that you can thrive in. So we want to create the atmosphere with the power of your mind and your imagination. So that's what we're going to be doing. And like I said, I do have a SKOOL community. Let me go ahead and give you all the link to join my SKOOL community. I want to get to 100 people. I wanted to get to 100 people by, hold on 1 second. Oh, I see. Oh, there's like 4 people that, okay, so some of y'all did click the link. Well, I'll just put it here again. In the SKOOL community, we're studying mindset, manifestation, esoteric topics while I'm helping you to understand how to make multiple sources of income through digital products, AI tools, social media. So even if you're not interested in just AI, you still want to join because I'm doing mindset, manifestation, esoteric topics on how to create your desired reality. I'm mixing spiritual entrepreneurship, but people who are in there are learning both. We actually have on Friday we have a Q&A for AI tools and digital products. And then next week we're going to be starting March 1st. We're going to be doing our 14-day money manifestation challenge. The month of March is a money month. It's a lucky month. It's March Madness. All right, so if you haven't joined the SKOOL community, go ahead and join it now. There's 12 people in here, so I should see 12 people coming over to my SKOOL community right now. You have nothing to lose. It's free. And once you get in for free, when I actually start charging other people to come in after March 2nd, you'll be in the free tier and you won't have to pay anything unless you want to, upgrade. Anyone coming in after March 2nd is going to have to pay to come in. And my free community is very valuable. I mean, we're doing the same stuff here. I'm giving you tools. You get to ask me questions. I'm answering. And all you have to do in order to unlock a lot of my courses in the SKOOL community is to engage. They do it by like tiers and levels. So level 4 would be people who engage often. All you have to do is whenever you see a notification, go into the SKOOL app, engage with the people that are in there, like their comments, comment back, ask questions, and every time you do that and engage, you get pushed up with points into levels. So that's all I ask for. The people who want to upgrade in the future, they'll upgrade, but my free community, I want to add value because I need to reach more people anyway. because my paid members and my personal membership are getting all this great, yummy benefits. And Spirit is like, no, you need to reach more people, more people, more people. Okay, well, I think that's my time. It's been a pleasure speaking to you all. I like to go a little bit from an hour, but we went over a little bit. But either way, I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Bye bye.